Good afternoon, everyone. I was just about to say, Matthew, can you hear me? But we've been like talking for 2 minutes, so
I can indeed hear you. Yes,
you can hear me, and everything's okay. It's nice and clear.
Yeah,
Good. Jamie's joined us afternoon. Jamie on YouTube, always generally, most of the time.
it's usually first one, isn't it?
Usually the first one, absolutely. Do you know what? I think he wasn't like the first one once, and ever since then, I'm like, yeah, usually. I'm only joking, Jamie. Great to have you here. Great to have everyone joining us. If you can do the usuals, please, guys. If you can let us know on YouTube if you can see and hear us, and can you let us know if you're watching via Facebook that you can see and hear us as well. Another YouTuber, Phil. Afternoon. I need to go into the comments. Tara says I can't connect to it. So I don't know what happened. That's in the event. So I don't know if you want to have a look at it. We've got some, hi via Facebook. Hello. It might have just gone live. Thank you for confirming, Jamie. Appreciate that. I'm just going to go into the event here. Do you guys have matching earrings? They do look.
Don't they?
Yeah, we do.
Realize that.
Match up. We actually had a meeting yesterday where there was 4 of us in the meeting, and we all literally came up wearing not exactly the same, because it was me and 3 of the guys, and we were all wearing black, and it looked like we'd all coordinated specifically for the meeting. I do that a lot with Luke Dugan as
We're
well.
in uniform again today, aren't we?
Yeah. No, I'm actually wearing navy today.
I was going to say you look a bit more navy.
Yeah, but you can't see it, unfortunately. So here we go. Steve's joined us. Right, let me jump on here. Vlad's joined us. Welcome, Vlad. It's been a while, so glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Hayden, Johnny. Yeah, it was Paul that said, do you have matching earrings? So we'll keep an eye on the comments from both sides. Just let us know. I think by now you can see and hear us, which is good. Yvonne's joined us as well. So we've got a lot to get through today. There's a few things that I want to talk about, some really important things that can have some big impacts over Q4. And want to talk about a bit of a Q4 plan, some updates. I feel that Amazon have been super quiet on the update fronts for ages, and all of a sudden, just the last week or so, they've just been both sides of the Atlantic, just new fees, increases, there's this, there's that, there's policy changes, new laws, on both sides of the thing. So we've got a lot to go through and digest today, because I want to make sure. I think looking at one of the posts yesterday that we were talking about, we've got this high fat, sugar and salts thing hopefully becoming next week. And there's still a lot of people that really don't know
how serious it can be.
And how serious it potentially is. So I want to talk about that a little bit today. I did intend on talking about it last week, but I wasn't very well. So thanks for covering short notice. That was you and Johnny hanging out on the balcony.
With the planes.
Yeah, absolutely. MC Platinum. Yes, this will be available to view later. So it automatically uploads on YouTube pretty quick. But you can join us via the Ecom Inner Circle Facebook group. So no, actually, I think it uploads in there straight away, and then it takes a little bit of time to propagate.
As soon as we end, it's available as a replay in the Facebook group. But yeah, it takes no longer on YouTube.
But the short answer is yes, it is available to watch later. Jed's joined us. Jed, I was just listening to your message. Actually, I'll get back to you later this afternoon. He's joined us from sunny Spain, which is good. I know you're doing a little bit of work over there, but make sure you enjoy your holiday. That's what holidays are for.
Exactly.
Yeah, make sure you relax a little bit for sure. Yvonne's joined us. Hi, guys. Yeah, good to see everyone. Ben has joined us on YouTube as well. So it's a nice mix of Facebook and YouTube today. So I think we'll start off with a couple of the quick things, which, to be perfectly honest, is not going to impact a lot of people. I'm only going to talk about it because I think that probably they will be things that happen over here. 2 announcements, big announcements in the last week on Amazon US. And of course, I'm quite heavily invested in Amazon US, so I tend to see a lot of the updates over there. But I do think there are two things that will come over here. So I think it is relevant to talk about them. And firstly, it's that holiday fee increase, standard 35 cents across the board. They're just applying to everything. I think it's, well, I say standard across the board. That's a minimum standard across the board. I think it's then impacted by, is it weight? It must be weight.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll put you on the spot, Matthew. Do you want to explain what it is?
No, I'm not.
No, you haven't.
I'm not that read up on it.
Okay,
It's very on the spot.
No, that's fine. I just didn't want me didn't want you to think I was doing all the talking as per usual. So what it essentially
because I don't sell in the USA, so I'm obviously aware of it, but I'm not that. Yeah, until I say I think what happens in the US, the UK soon follows, so it probably comes to the UK as well.
Well, it used to be a minimum of, in some cases, I mean, the Dangerous Goods program was running for probably 18 months before it came over here in the US. But most policy changes, fee increases, if they are general as opposed to location specific, i.e., like, when in like Germany or France and Italy, I think it was that they added like a digital tax onto stuff. That's generally not going to go into every single marketplace because it's specifically in France and in Italy. Whereas something like this, it is a blanket across the board. Now, it could well be just because of the sheer size of the location, geographical size of America, in terms of their distribution and their fulfillment is very different in America. Here it's more localized. If you think about it, obviously in America, 300 million people and just huge, vast.
Yeah, you think the UK will fit in the state of New Jersey, wouldn't it? So, it's
exactly
crazy comparison.
Exactly.
It's not even a comparison, is it?
No, it's not. No, I think we would fit into like New York or something like that. So it's certainly in Florida. But it's one of those things that could it just be down to geographical location? So what they've come out and said, due to inflation, due to the rising cost of everything, which, we know is true, that they are going to put due to hiring staff and everything like that, they're going to put a minimum of 35 cents levy on all sales, like a one-off fee during the Q4 period of time. So they're calling it the holiday fee increase. And, so if you sell small and light stuff, if you sell stuff under $10, that's huge. It's a big percentage, 3.5%. Yeah. Even by my maths, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
something like that. Yeah. 3.5% hit.
Yeah, but this is the problem, isn't it? If you're working off, that's why I keep banging on about margins and high value products. If you're working off 5% margin at $10, you're now on 1.5% margin.
Yeah,
instantly.
Absolutely. Sorry, just a few more people joined us. Hayden's joined us. Hanson's joined us. Ola, congratulations on your recent marriage, Hanson. I saw your pictures. They were amazing. Good afternoon, Donna, as well. So yeah, big increase. And then that's actually, at the time when I wrote the post about it, I thought it was just across the board, but it's not. It's actually, that's the minimum. And then it's going to be based on weight from there. But I think I should have looked up the dates. I can't remember. I don't think it kicks into October and then it stops again in around mid-January. So it is levied purely for that Q4 period of time. But there's something else you've got to watch during that period of time. A lot of people don't talk about is there's an increase in storage fees in that period of time as well. It goes up by a third. So that's something else to consider this year as well. So
has the storage fees been announced?
No, not yet.
My only reservation is they may not this year. I think they probably will. But the only reason they may not is because I know they have surplus capacity. Because I know we've had a lot of conversations with Amazon. They've been very trying to push the multi-channel fulfillment for our website. We've had a call with some of them. So there is a potential that they may not do it this year just because they want to push that side of the business. But I don't know. If the costs are going up, then they're probably going to, aren't they, to cover the cost.
Sorry, I've just seen. Do you know what? Right. Okay. We need to think about this next time. We're laughing, Cindy, because you're not the first person to say it. We'll have to remember that one. We need to co-ord in future, definitely. And you know what? I wear nothing but studs normally. That's all I normally wear.
Yeah.
I'm just getting, otherwise I get a bit Pat Butchery, you know, with the earrings. So I thought that, do you know what? Just for once, because we're going to be going out for dinner with a family member later that we haven't seen in 3 years, lives in Australia, coming over from COVID. And I thought I'll put my fancy earrings in now. I didn't know that they were going to cause like a load of buzz, and we were going to be twinning. So something to watch out for if you are selling in the US. And I don't want to spend too much time on it because obviously I know a lot of you are not selling in the US, but when they announce the storage fee increases, which I think they will, and it's part of standard terms of service anyway. It's in, if you look it up now, it's part of the rate card, you know, so it's not really like a floating one. The storage fee increases in Q4. It's part of the you know, it's part of the rate cards anyway. So it automatically changes during that period of time. So just something to be aware of, that those storage fees do go, and you know, we always talk about, oh, hold your stock, do this. And of course, but the longer you hold it, the more you get charged during Q4 as well. So that's a consideration just to have a think about. Hi, Chris. But will it come over here? Who knows? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're going to announce
it yet.
Don't
know.
Yeah.
It's well, I think they probably will. Based, I heard on the radio today about the price of gas is going up the price cap's going up another 80% in October. So everyone's going to feel that, and Amazon will feel that. They'll have fulfillment costs, you know, warehouse costs. So them costs have to be passed on to somebody.
Costs are being passed on now like I've never seen before. In, you know, we had increases in costs due to COVID and kind of I suppose supply chain issues that were having an impact more than anything else. But that's what the issue was more than anything else. It wasn't really costs that were passed on. Generally, Amazon absorb a lot of costs, and they actually do. You know, when there was the digital tax, they only recently passed that on, even though it was levied a couple of years ago. So they will try and absorb wherever possible. I've definitely been saying for a while, whilst it's my prediction, I think that there'll be an increase in the professional seller fee at some time. You know, I've been saying that for probably about 6 months now, that I think if that's going to be the next increase. But that's a permanent increase. Whereas, do you know what? I actually think sometimes we see a fee increase like this and everyone's like, oh, you know, oh, can't believe it, greedy Amazon, that type of thing. But I'm going to give Amazon a little bit of credit here. They've done it over a period of time where people are generally prosperous. They've done it over a period of, it's not a permanent change. And they could have just increased the professional seller fee across the board. That would have impacted everybody all year round. So I think actually they've been quite fair in what they've done. They've levied something at a time when they know people are going to be busy, when prices are going up. Oh my God, look, who am I? Who am I? Like, you know, defending
Feeling
Amazon.
okay.
Yeah.
Still low from last week.
I know. Who even am I? But I do think actually, if they're going to do something like this is the fairest way to do it, and where people will be less impacted the most, because I don't think they don't want to put prices up. I don't think they do, you know, for the sake of it. So
that's not their goal, is it? Their goal is to sell as much as possible, as cheaply as possible.
Exactly.
I think as well, in fairness, is actually any kind of variable fee is fairer, because an increase to let's say they put the professional fee up from £39 to say 50 quid, you know, they put it up by £10. That's going to have a massive, much more disproportional impact on smaller sellers. For me, I won't even register. It will make no difference to my life at all. You know, I spend more than that cost her. So it make no difference to me. But for somebody who's starting out, that could be a tipping point, you know, whether they actually start or not, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I've always felt the professional seller fee was actually quite cheap anyway. It's 25 quid plus VAT in the UK, so it's 30 quid, and then it's 39.99 in the US. And
I always get that mixed up.
Yeah, no, 25 plus VAT to have access to UK and all the European markets. Don't forget, we pay that for for that and the big five in Europe as well. So whereas in America it's $39.99, gets you access to Canada and Mexico. So I think it's pretty good value to have exposure to the biggest buying audience in the world, retail buying audience in the world. So I think it's pretty good value. Right, let me stop defending Amazon and we'll move on to something else. I like what Cindy said. Their electric bill must be huge. Yeah, they should be on utility warehouse. Their cashback.
Imagine signing them up.
Oh my God.
Jeff on the
you could get Jeff getting out his utility warehouse card for sure. He'll be using it to fill up his spaceship with the petrol, 3% of Sainsbury's. Don't think they'd be happy rocking up with that. Chris says you'll find me on another platform with the client base that they have, not to mention logistics network they run. Don't get me wrong, they're not perfect, but they do a lot. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we forget that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not defending Amazon in their practices and the way that they deal with things with sellers and things like that. It's shocking, to be perfectly honest. But let's not forget, there's no other company that has managed to build what they've built. You know, and people have tried, they've tried to duplicate it, but it just doesn't happen. So we do have to give them credit and respect for that. Definitely. That's how I see. But yeah, watch out for that one, guys. We'll let you know if it comes over the pond. The second thing really quickly that came out in the US this week, which is connected to a lot of things actually. And this definitely will translate over. It could be 3 months, could be 6 months. But Amazon are beta testing a new account health point system, which is actually quite good because what will happen is when you are selling on Amazon and you get like IP claims and you see screenshots where someone's got thousands of IP claims. And then one other person gets an IP claim, they get suspended. And you don't ever really know why one person gets suspended over another. Well, this new system, whilst they've not come out and said it, there is a hidden system in Amazon. It's called the trust score, the credibility trust score in Amazon, which relates to how well your account is perceived in Amazon eyes. And I'm assuming this sort of point system is related to that. So it's anywhere between 0 and 1,000. But if your points in your account health drop below 200, that's when your account becomes at risk. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think it's 100. It's like you could be deactivated. I don't know. I've not really seen the metric on that. So ultimately, what is going to happen is we're going to see, certainly because I'm on the beta program in the US, we're going to see what weight IP claims and product safety violations and all of these different types of things that can impact on your account health. We're going to see what kind of impact that has on Amazon. So it's a little bit transparent. So it's quite good actually, because if we know that product safety violations are only worth like 1 point, whilst I think everything's important to stay on top of in your account health, you might not panic as much. Whereas if like an IP claim is worth like 50 points, you're going to poop yourself and like, right, I need to get this sorted because it's having this massive impact. Yeah.
I think that's pretty much true. I think most people understand that an IP claim is potentially I think counterfeit claims and IP claims are kind of, don't quote me on this, are more heavily weighted than obviously a product safety, incomplete information, intellectual, the suspected IP claim thing. Then they're way less heavily weighted than some you actually receiving an IP claim or a counterfeit claim, whether it be from a customer or whether it be from a supplier. So I think they're a brand owner. So yeah, I think that system already exists. It's just it's nice that they've got the transparency. I think it's always one of the big criticisms of Amazon is there's no transparency as to why and what things happen.
Yeah, this is the thing, and it's always been the most frustrating thing. And we've both been selling on Amazon for a long time. You've been selling on Amazon for longer than I have. You know, we're at 7 years. You're at what, probably 12? 11, 12?
Yeah, about that, 2011.
Yeah, something like that. And I've certainly seen in that period of time, I've seen, you know, there's certain things that happen and change over that period. And I mean, it's like nothing like it was 6, 7 years ago. God knows what it's like 10, 11 years ago to how it is now. And it's why we always bang on so much about being able to adapt and evolve, because it's not the same as it was then. It won't be the same in 6 years' time either.
Yeah.
But what has changed, and I've seen a definite shift in the last 12 months to 18 months, since whether or not this was always planned pre-COVID, I don't think it's as a result of COVID, but Amazon is definitely shifting to more transparent ways, and more, they're being more open. And I think it comes down to, and we've talked about this a lot in ESA actually, I think this comes down to, more than anything else, Amazon now knows that they're top of the tree, they're in position, that there's only really one way for them that they could potentially go now, and that's potentially down. And you know, they can continue to grow. But we already talked about it a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? For the first time ever, the market shares decreased.
Yes.
And they know now that people with the power of brands and creating their own brands, and how important that is when it comes to selling on Amazon. If you go and get brand registry, I'll tell you what, the information that they give you in brand registry is immense. What they share with you, the demographics, the information. 3 years ago, no one ever thought Amazon would be that transparent in what they would be prepared to share in terms of information. Now you can contact customers directly and say, look, what can I do for you? Let's resolve this. Amazon will give you a link to send traffic, outside traffic, to your own listings now. And they will give you a discount off of the seller fee to do that. So Amazon knows that they have to be more transparent and get on board, because if they carry on protecting their data, or trying to protect their data, they know the likes of Walmart and eBay and people like that will eventually, personally, I think Amazon is too far ahead for them to catch up completely and take over. But I think that they know, in order for people to stop trying to divert traffic off of Amazon, they're doing everything now to help encourage Amazon sellers to keep Amazon traffic on Amazon. And this is where the transparency is coming from.
I think the transparency is actually not coming from that. I think the transparency is coming from, they are scared. They're terrified that the US regulators are going to break them up. And that's where I think the transparencies come from. I don't think it's a willing transparency. I think there's a business argument that it makes sense for them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the transparencies come from a fear that they are now so big that the US government will force them to break up. And I actually think that the whole seller suspension thing's got a lot better recently. I mean, people still get suspended, but I think they realize is that actually, rather than them being so big that they don't care, they're actually too big not to care now. And if a negative article came out about a load of sellers getting suspended for no reason, that would have real damage to their business, because the US government is watching. People are watching Amazon intently. Can you imagine if, like, all the newspapers ran a massive story to Amazon about Amazon sellers getting suspended, how unfairly? Amazon would flip on a coin overnight. If their share price went down because they were suspending sellers unfairly, they would turn that policy around overnight, and they'd reinstate everybody and they'd relax the policy. So I think they're actually too big to fail now. I think that is actually potentially one of the good things now.
The scrutiny that's coming down on Amazon due to their sheer size and inability to offer a certain level of fairness in the market with competition, that, it is literally a case of they got too big for their boots, and now there's a lot of scrutiny and people want to see them broken up. And it was so funny because people really do fear Jeff Bezos. He is the person that people are really scared of. I don't know if anyone watched that Uber Super Pumped documentary where he was talking about how the different Silicon Valley social media entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg, the Google people and things like that, this Uber guy was talking about them. Obviously this is it's a TV show, but it's based on real life, but it must be the general consensus, where he was talking through all the Larry Page and the Mark Zuckerberg. He was like, these guys are ruthless, blah 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 blah. He said, but there's one guy you don't want to piss off, and that's Jeff Bezos. No, you're a psycho if you kind of do that. So he has got this reputation, but even he's got too big for his boots, and you know, Amazon is massively under scrutiny. I completely agree with what you're saying in terms of the suspensions. I think from my experience and talking to people and seeing what people go through with suspensions, I think you're less likely to get a snap suspension now, but when you get a suspension, it's harder to sort it out. So it's like now I see people is months, taking months, and we're not here to scare anyone. Hopefully do everything by the books, get everything done right. And, you know, generally you won't be in this position, but I know that there are people watching that even if they have and they've still been suspended. But what I will say, I do agree. I think it's harder to get that suspension now. And now, at least now that we know with this account health, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep you all updated about it. Again, something that's not happening here, very much in the US. I'm on the beta program in the US. And there's going to be, you know, so I'll keep everyone updated. But yeah, that's definitely, whether the holiday fee increase comes over here, don't know, but that will be over here. When? Could be in Q4, more likely in Q1, once they've gone through and tested it with the beta, I would have thought. But I think it's a good thing, that.
Yeah. It's very similar to how eBay do it. They have kind of different rankings. You have top rated, above standard, below standard. And there's very set criteria, of course, the suspensions as well. But no, you don't get suspended as readily on eBay, but you can get suspended. But it's like a sliding scale, and you can see your account health going from top rated, above standard, below standard, and then they limit your reselling and things like that. So it's a much more transparent system. It makes, like you say, I think it makes it much easier to run a business with, because you can address problems before they happen. With my suspension in 2017, it was literally out of the blue. We had an email from out of the blue that we've had all these IP claims. We had no warning. We had no dashboard. The whole dashboard thing didn't exist. It wasn't there.
No.
It was just literally an email out of the blue. Oh, you've had five complaints, and here's the ASINs.
You're done.
You're done.
Yeah. And yeah, we won't bring that back up. I'm sure you guys know. I feel that there's still a level of trauma there for you on that, Matt, because obviously when it happened over Q4 in December, you know, not good at all. And we're here for the positives, so we won't concentrate on that too much. Just say hello. We've had a few more people join us. Adam, Michael, Shamay, Steve, Rob, Noreen, Assad. You're all welcome. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. On that note, suspensions and IP claims, I just wanted to highlight something. Our friend Johnny, who's watching, just posted in his group. Now, again, it's one of those situations, it might not have any impact, but it's just an opportunity to remind people, especially during Q4, of this type of practice, because it's not a good practice. And you can fall into it, and you can end up getting IP claims, and you can get suspended. And yeah, I know that sounds like dramatic, but I would rather, like I've always said to people, I would rather bang on about it and be called Paranoid Natalie than everyone say, well, I didn't know. And if you don't watch the live streams, or you don't watch us back on YouTube, then you're not going to know about it either. So make sure you're always watching if you can, because these are the sort of things I feel that we're really good at letting people know about, and, you know, warning people about. So Johnny in his group, if you're not joined, it's Amazon Entrepreneurs. He's one of the biggest sellers in the UK now, and literally has been exposed to sorry, that's wrong. Is on thousands of listings, and today he's received, I think, some IP claims. Whether he's received them or heard about it, I'm not 100% sure. So again, this is on the grapevine kind of thing, about the practice a little bit that we saw in Q4 last year from some unethical sellers who were changing listings to their own brand and then issuing IP claims. I think the situation with Johnny is, obviously Johnny is on thousands of listings, and the person or the company that is doing it, I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but the person that is doing it themselves is a very big seller as well. So I think Johnny just wanted us to, and through his group as well, just warn people of what to look out for in these cases. Now, it's completely unethical. What someone is doing in this case is opening IP claims on listings that they've managed to adopt under their own brand that they have no right to adopt under their own brand, i.e. it's someone else's brand. So you literally are seeing this more and more now, and I have been banging on about this for the last year. And I've already had conversations with people in the ESA group on this as well, where we do create our own opportunities, but certainly not like this. If anyone ever says that we create opportunities like this in ESA, please tell me, because that is not, I spend my whole time warning people not to do it right, stay in the light kind of thing. I was liking it like being trained by Obi-Wan Kenobi and then changing to the dark side. It's not what we teach at all. I think that was like the right Star Wars reference.
I'm not that into Star Wars.
I just thought, oh my God, did I get like a Star Wars reference right? I think I did. I've never seen it, but I think that's what it was. I don't know. Matt has it on, and sometimes I watch it. So it's a really unethical approach. But here's the stinger, guys, and this is what's going to happen. I can see it happening. I can always kind of preempt things like this because you know, being around this space and being in it for a really long time, these sort of things come in waves, cycles. Same thing happens, same time every year. It's going to get worse this year, I think. More people know how to do it. It's not easy to do. It requires effort, but the people that are doing it, they're doing it deliberately. You can't accidentally do it, okay?
Yeah.
So that's important to say. It's being done maliciously, deliberately, whatever. And they want the market share to themselves. Now, whatever drives that, I don't know. Maybe they got tanked. Maybe they're sick of this. Maybe whatever. And you can do it on Amazon. And this is the thing that's going to make me sound very unpopular, but it's true. It's not against Amazon terms of service. Okay. So if anyone starts saying it's against Amazon terms of service, it's this. It's not. But my philosophy is just because you can doesn't mean you should. There's a moral impact here that really gets my goat, gets everyone's goat. It's like, and some people are like, well, it's business, it's ruthless, it's this, it's that. Well, actually, no. Yes, it is if you've created something yourself. It's different. But these are leveraging other people's brands. It's not anything you've created, nothing you've got the skill to do yourself. It's, you know, a workaround, it's a loophole, whatever. So it's something I just want to make people aware of. And I think it's definitely something you're going to see a lot more in Q4. I called it a year ago where I said it could be, you know, this could be a really big problem. That was at the time I didn't know it wasn't against terms of service. And I thought, oh, Amazon will pick up on it. Amazon will do this. Amazon will do that. But it's not against terms of service. And Amazon will do nothing. You need to go out of your way. What they're doing, Amazon, is they're putting it all in the hands of brand. They don't want to handle it anymore. And I think for the exact reasons that you've said earlier on, Matthew, that they want to separate third-party sellers and Amazon for this scrutiny. So what they're saying now is if it's to do with brand owners, third-party sellers, things like that, you guys sort it out between yourself. We're not getting involved anymore. And it's not because Amazon are being massholes. It's because there will come a time where there probably has to be a separation between third-party sellers, the marketplace, and Amazon themselves. So it's them preempting it. You know, you deal with it. We don't want any liability with that type of thing. So look out for it, guys. There's a video that I did in Nevermind the Buy Box last year, which shows you what to watch out for. I did like a live stream on it because it was catching so many people were getting suspended off of this. So I did a specific live stream. Nothing's changed on that. So I'm not going to probably do another one unless it gets really bad. But if you want to watch it to know what to look out for so you don't fall into that trap, then I think I'll just repost it in the group or drop me a comment on here and you guys can have a watch of it. Because to be perfectly honest, apart from challenging them individually, I might write a template actually as well, I think, and try and post that in the group.
Yeah.
Just to give people the opportunity to try and fight it the best they possibly can. Because if it's highlighted to Amazon, they might do something about it. It was at the start, but even after that, they stopped people doing it anyway. Again, they were like, no, deal with the brand. But it's not fair. It's just one of those things. You sound a bit like a kid by saying it's just one of those things. It's just not fair. So it's really annoying. But yeah, if anyone wants the copy of that, let me know. And I'll post it in the group anyway as well. So you guys have got it. But yeah, just reminded me, I'll write that down. I think I'm going to write a template for everyone because it's just not fair. You know, we all play by the bloody rules. And, you know, as soon as you're outside the rules, then, but they're people that are abusing the system and I don't like it. So yeah, there we go. Johnny says, yeah, seller would change the brand name to their own trademark, issue IP complaints, then change the brand back to the original brand on the listing. Okay, I've not seen that. Mandy said that makes me mad. So they get 100% market share of the top listing. Yeah, absolutely. Andre says, hello, late again. Hate this new shipment creation layout. Andre, I don't know if you saw in ESA, Johnny came on, did a special and ran through it all. So it might be worth looking at that one if you're well, I'm sure you know how to use it. You're just making comment that you hate it. So it's a Marmite system. It's one of those, yeah, it's a Marmite system. I don't know who loves it and who hates it. So but when's the switch over for that? When's that?
September rings a bell.
Yeah, I think so.
It's very soon. I feel like it's September.
Yeah, so that's another fun thing to come. Andrew said they've changed so much.
What I love about Amazon is they put, would you like? They put this beta shipment creation, and then they go, yeah, we're changing it now. This is the new layout. You know, this like, would you like to try our new layout? It's like, oh, we have the option to change back, and then they basically go, yeah, no, this is it now. Yeah, 30th of August, I guess.
Yeah,
beginning of September.
Yeah, a lot of people hate it. Guys, try and transfer over now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm the biggest hypocrite going. Whenever Facebook changed their layout, whenever Amazon changed their layout, I always opt to stay on the old layout for as long as possible. But with this,
we're like that. We're just like, don't change.
Yeah, exactly. Just make sure you change it over as much as possible. But we will do what we can over Q4 to make sure you guys don't fall into that IP trap. We'll investigate it. There's not a lot we can do, to be perfectly honest, but all we can do, prevention's always better than the cure, guys. So please watch the video. I'll post it maybe tonight. Have a look at it just so you're preparing yourself for what those red flags are. So yeah, been using it for the past 10 shipments. It slows things down. Yeah, that's what we're seeing. Yeah, no one's a fan of change. It's been a long time since they've changed anything on the back end on Amazon in the shipment creation. So I think the last big change was probably like box contents or something like that.
Yes, I think you're right, actually. I think it was.
Yeah, I think that was the last big change, which was a pain in the ass. But do you know what? It's one of the things I can't really comment on. I don't do the shipments. Prep Center does it. Matt does it. You know, I don't really get involved because I'm not allowed to get involved because I muck it up. So it's not like I can offer any great tips or advice on that, I'm afraid. I can't. Just try it and use it as much as possible. They might delay it. You never know. But I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. Donna said I did try it, but it was so confusing. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But the more you do something, I think it's more a change than anything else. The more you do it, the more it comes out, more people will be talking about it. Then hopefully you guys will be able to get through it.
Yeah.
Right. Let's quickly talk about the HFSS.
This is very much a you on this. Okay. It's not my thing.
Okay, we've talked about it quite a lot before, but I've done posts on it, and there's a bit more that's come to light since. But I will just say, kind of, disclaimer alert. We still don't really know how Amazon's going to react to it. So everything we're talking about here is speculation to a certain extent. I would say it's educated guessing more than anything else, more than speculation, maybe. So the biggest thing is over the advertising and the promotion of these unhealthy kind of foods. So a quick rundown in the quickest way that I can find to say anything quick, is it stands for high fat, sugar, and salts. From the 1st of October, the new laws come in saying that you basically can't promote anything that has a certain score that indicates a certain score above a certain percentage that indicates a product is unhealthy. It affects different things in different ways. There's about 3 different parts to it, but mainly what it comes down to is to do with the promotion of unhealthy food. Now, that will mainly be through advertising. That will mainly be through removal of sweets from the checkout area, incentivized places where they put products that are considered to be unhealthy in places where they are going to incentivize people to buy them. You're going to see no more buy one get one free on Whisper bars. All of the goods from the end of the aisles with the promotions, that's all changing. It's essentially, they're not banning unhealthy foods. They're not adding extra taxes to them more than the sugar tax that's already happened. They're just saying that then they can't be promoted in the way that they are over and above healthy foods, because that is subjective. What is healthy, what isn't. So they've boarded it under high fat, sugar, and salts. Well, in a lot of cases, I think a lot of scientifically, high fat is actually much better for you than, so I don't know.
High sugar and it's very, and it's very difficult to say that this product's bad for you, because it's about having a healthy diet, and you can eat too much fruit and then put weight
exactly
on.
So
you can live off a diet of Haribos and lose weight, so it's very very
they are vegan.
There we go. Yeah, exactly.
But it's one of those things that we've got some good information based on it. So it comes down to a score. If it goes below a score, if it's above a score, it can't be advertised, it can't be promoted. So this is all very well. You go down Tesco's, you're not going to be able to get your Snickers bar at the checkout anymore. Okay, that's just not going to happen from the 1st of October. But here's the difference. It's only for companies that have 50 or more employees. So you think, oh, okay, great. Well, I sell on Amazon. It's just me and Bob. So that doesn't affect us. Unfortunately not. Amazon are looking at it as though it's Amazon. So even though you are a third-party seller on Amazon, and whilst they've not confirmed this, we absolutely think that there's no reason why they wouldn't do this, because how can they differentiate? How do they know how many employees I have? How many does Matt have? How many does Johnny have? How many does Mandy have? How many does Cindy have? They can't. So it has to be blanket across the board. That's the one thing, although they haven't confirmed it, that I'm 99, or we're all 99.9% sure of, that it's just going to affect everybody on Amazon.
Plus, even if it is 50, it will go to everybody. If you remember the carry bag charge, that started off with retailers over 200 employees. Now everybody has to do it. So you may as well get on with it anyway, because you're going to get enrolled in it in the future anyway, whether it be a year or 2 years down the line.
Absolutely. So it's going to happen anyway. Whether or not this is their way of kind of easing people in, who knows. So from that point of view, it doesn't matter. I assume it's going to happen on eBay, Etsy, all of these different types of platforms where there is, that kind of caveat involved, I suppose. So then the next thing that you've got to look at is, how can these foods be promoted? Now, again, this is something that will not really impact the majority of the people watching this. It's only really for the people that create their own opportunities or advertise, or if you run a chocolate company and you sell on Amazon. So are we going to be able to use PPC moving forward, paid advertising, to advertise unhealthy foods? That one's up for discussion still. Some people think yes, some people think no. I think yes, whereas the next guy thinks no. So again, we're not going to know about that until the 1st. That's not the most important area, though, to be perfectly honest. It is for people that create their own opportunities, and I'll be covering that a little bit more nearer the time, how we can help people with that, if that is going to impact you. So that one's still up for discussion. But the final thing is what you've got to do as an Amazon seller, regardless of whether it's your product or not. And you have to upload pretty much or it's a bit like declaration of conformity.
Yeah.
Every single listing now that could fall under high fat, sugar, and salts has to have a score attributed to it, right? Now, if you are someone that has thousands of listings, this is going to be a massive pain in the bum because you've got to work out what those scores are, whether they're impacted or not. Very quickly, for anyone that does bundles or sells multi-packs or anything like that, or mixed products, and even if you've got a little love heart in one of your products or something, if you have one item, even if it is within a bundle of 20, if you have one that is high fat, sugar, and salts, it makes the whole thing high fat, sugar, and salts. So that's really important to take that into account. You think, oh, okay, I bundle, I'm fine, I'm not going to be unaffected. I just stick the Snickers bar in there and I'll be fine. No, the whole thing's got to be deemed as that. So like Matt said with the carrier bags, it's better just to do it, to be perfectly honest, because you risk the listings being taken down. So what do we know about what they're going to do? So again, this is out for debate as well. Do Amazon, are they going to pull listings? Is it going to affect account health? Again, it's all kind of up in the air. So we don't 100% know that. So anyone that's selling grocery and that has a high level of grocery listings, this is super important, guys. You could lose a load of listings overnight. So what we've done at Team Ecom is we've created a solution as such that we're going to share with everybody completely free of charge, even though it has cost time and money to do it. We have a solution that will help people to be able to give Amazon what they want on their listings to a certain extent. Now, it's going to be 90% automated. It's going to be something you can click a few buttons and have it done for you. But we're only as good as the data that it gives us. So there is going to have to be a manual element to it as well, which last week we were going to launch it this week, but then we realized that. And then we were like, oh, okay, surely is there something we can do for this? And then we added the manual element. So that's been done as well.
Yeah.
So subject to testing and it all working fine, which we think it is, then we're going to do a special next week, just like a one-off live stream where we will show you what it is and we're going to show you guys what it is and give it to everyone. Essentially, it's our way of kind of giving back and, sort of saying, because it's like it's one of those things that normally, and this was honestly what was going to happen. This was going to be shared just with my elite sellers. This is what it was. But when I found out that there could be an element of account health involved, who am I to keep it a secret, at the end of the day? So that's the way I see it. Who am I, to do that? So that's why we want to kind of share it with everyone, and hopefully it's a solution. We can't guarantee that it'll do everything it can, but yeah, I think we're doing that next Tuesday, are we?
I thought it said Wednesday.
Oh no, I thought we were going to do a Nevermind.
Oh, Tuesday. Oh, you're doing. Yes, that's right. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the group. I'll put it in the group.
Put it in the group. We'll confirm the date. I think we said next Tuesday, didn't we? We're going to do a special Nevermind the Buy Box next week on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But just to make it clear, there's no upsell. There's nothing like that. It's
no.
It's not us saying come on the live. So what we want to do, because like I said, this is something that we intend to do kind of moving forward and where we can offering solutions to help people. If you guys could do us a favor, and if there are any other kind of Amazon sellers that you're aware that could be impacted by this, if you can add them or invite them to the group, just so we can get it out to as many people as possible. I'm going to do like a YouTube video on it and everything like that as well. But it's just one of those things. I mean, some of you might think, no, I'm not going to invite anyone because I want the competition taken down.
Competition. Yeah. But to be honest, though, I think it'll be very similar to the responsible person, when in the EU, when that happened.
Yeah.
And as long as one person's done it, then I think that listing will be okay. I think it'll be on a per listing basis. But
I think
that's going to be particularly for people who do bundles, though. You're gonna have to upload that information yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So Andre said I was thinking of charging for it. Oh no, sorry. Sorry about that. But it's something, yeah, it's like, yeah, because it's account health and that type of thing. I think it's really important to share it. So invite them to the group, add them to the group, share this video, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, you know, do what we can, because we want as many people. It's a bit like, you know, and I didn't come up with the VAT reclaim. I know who came up with it, and I know who spread it spread it in a good way. And I know exactly the one person that is responsible for doing that, who literally has gone anonymous and did not want any type of credit for it whatsoever. When I think about that person and I think about what good that they did, that's why I just couldn't not do the same, essentially. Yeah. And even though this won't even be anything in comparison to the VAT reclaim, you know, literally that person has delivered millions of pounds worth of rebates to Amazon sellers. So yeah, I can't keep it secret, definitely, for sure. So watch this space. We hope it'll be ready for next week. If I mean, we've got plenty of time until the 1st of October. So even if it's not next week, as in it's not working or whatever, then we're not going to rush it just for the case.
No, it needs to be right.
Yeah, it needs to be right for us to do that. So that's the most important thing. So yeah, please feel free to invite, to add, you know, to do whatever you can, because we just want to make sure that as many people get access to that. You know, even with people plugging it, you know what's going to happen. It'll come to like the 1st of October and everyone's going to be like, what is this? What's happening?
Why is all my listings suppressed?
Yeah, exactly. What's going on here? Why have I had like a million account health product, whatever, HF? We don't know what they're going to do yet. So, but we'll keep you updated on that.
I think it will probably, my prediction is it'll be a yellow box, very similar to all the other yellow boxes you get, and it'll be you'll have a list of listings and you'll have to input the information, or they'll be search suppressed because they can't legally be advertised. That's the thing, isn't it? It's an advertising thing. So I imagine actually that whereas some things aren't as serious, if the information isn't in the listing, then you legally cannot advertise it. So I think it will have to be done before all the listings will be either suppressed or removed.
Yeah, I think like declarations of conformity, Andre, Matt's just said that. I think if one person does it, I think it will release it for everybody. That's what we think, but it's not confirmed as yet. So just seeing who's put that link up. Are you a spammer or are you someone's put read this post? I don't know if it's like one of those Telegram. Oh, it's Vlad. There we go. That's fine. Not a scammer. It's fine. I couldn't see who put it up. I couldn't see who put it up.
Facebook user, doesn't it?
Yeah, it said Facebook user. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, read the post. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Definitely. Yo said, can I replenish my groceries? Yes, you can, but obviously just be aware. And presumably, providing you upload the information, it should be okay. Now, the only other thing, it's a bit like unit count and things like that. Sometimes with the Amazon attributes, they don't allow you to update it. But this is done in a different way. So I'm hoping that won't be impacted. So fingers crossed, it'll be okay. And we'll know a little bit more anyway. So it's fine. What was the other thing I was going to say?
I was just going to say on that silver lining on all these things is yes, okay, they cause issue, hassle. People have to work out solutions, but those that work out solutions, there's less competition. So potentially it might stop people coming into the grocery market, and people in this group will be able to benefit from that. So that's very much my kind of thought with the Brexit thing is, you know, silver lining. Yes, it knocked a lot of people out of Europe, but then also it made it more profitable for people who did stay in. Same with this. This might help the grocery market become less competitive because a lot of people either can't fill it in or won't fill it in.
Absolutely. But again, it's that adapt or die kind of thing. It's you know, that's you know, hopefully by creating the solution, you know, that it will be something that will be easier for people to do. I'm hoping, I know Yo says about the listings, exactly, you can't update them, so I'm hoping it's not the case, but we won't know until we know. Again, the good thing about this is it's happening, the law changes on the 1st of October, but you can update it from now. So hopefully once we start doing it, or people start doing it, then by the time word gets around and everything like that, that hopefully it won't be too much an issue. What I will say about Yo's asked about replenishing, yeah, replenish, but be aware that it is something that could happen, that if it doesn't have the right score, if it doesn't have the right information, it could get shut down. What I will say, and I will say this in earnest, is that I wouldn't be buying thousands of advent calendars this year if you do not have access to the information, because obviously that's something that's going to be impacted. I mean, not like Lego ones, obviously, unless they've got high fat, sugar, and salt. I don't think they have. But you know, with the chalky ones, anything that has that element of unhealthiness, then I mean, mind you, I think everyone got burned on advent calendars last year anyway, so I think most people would be staying away. But Christmas chocks is where a lot of people make money during Q4, so until we know, I wouldn't be ordering thousands and thousands of units from wholesalers. But wholesalers should be aware of this as well. This is going to impact everyone.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not just Amazon sellers. This is, you know, it's the law. It's
yeah, manufacturers, everybody's going to be affected, aren't they?
Yeah, so if you are if you're unsure and you're about to place some big grocery wholesale orders, speak to the point of contact at the wholesalers about it. You know, have they got any further information? Just because, you know, it's one of those things that if they are an employee or an employer with over 50 employees, which it could well be, then they might have access to some additional information. And if you find anything useful, then let us know. Because we don't know until we know. It's as simple as that. And all we can do is prevent as much as possible. But until it rolls over onto the 1st of October, we don't know. But I personally think it'll be like declarations of conformity. That's how I think it's going to roll.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Ready, aim, fire. Exactly.
Yeah, that's literally Amazon, isn't it?
But
no,
yeah.
ready, fire, aim.
Oh, ready, fire, aim. Yeah, exactly. Very good, Andre. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So next week, I think next Tuesday will be that. So make sure you join us live, because we will run through and show you how to do it. We'll also be introducing a new member of the e-com team as well on that live. So we will have someone that's going to be joining us as part of the team. Something Matt and I didn't anticipate when we first started this group, but I'm a big believer of you know, strengthening numbers essentially when it comes to dealing with the beast that is Amazon.
I'd say this isn't, don't give me any credit for this. I've had no involvement in this side. It's not really my thing, the grocery market, and so the person who's coming on, is full credit to them. They put all this together. They're very big in the grocery market, so you know, really helpful. And like I say, like you said, you know, the more wealth of knowledge we can have in the group, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll look forward to adding that up, and I'll probably do like an event a bit earlier on that I would normally do it, because I want people, and this isn't like a marketing thing. Like, I want people, as many people as possible, so we can sell you something. It's not that. We want as many people as possible, because I just don't want to see listings being taken down. I don't want to see opportunity being taken away, and especially if there's connotations from an account health point of view, we want as many people to know about this as possible. Absolutely. So, you know, that's why we're doing it. But on that note of selling stuff,
we do have some stuff to sell, but that isn't it. Yeah,
that's it. So finally, we talk about you know, Q4. So Matt and I, a few months ago, we ran the RA Masterclass, which was hugely successful. It absolutely blew our minds in terms of the amount of interest that was involved. So much so,
we were not genuinely not expecting the response that we got for it. You know, we didn't think it'd be quite so well received.
Yeah, we didn't. So much so that we actually shot ourselves in the foot, and we had to shut it down even before the cart was going to close, because we didn't expect for so many people to be interested. So, and it was something genuinely at the time we were like, well, people were saying, are you going to run it again? And we were like, well, we don't know. We probably will, but we don't know.
Yeah.
But I think with everything that's happening in Q4, the opportunity, how the landset is changing in terms of people having to put more effort in this year. I think we've decided that we are going to run the class one more time, certainly, before Q4 starts. And it's really an opportunity for anyone that didn't have or couldn't get on the first one, which we know that there was quite a few. So we're going to run it again.
Yeah, definitely.
We are going to run the RA masterclass again, and it's very much run from Matt's perspective for being a 7-figure RA seller and having massive success in this field, working with specific retailers in order to do this kind of hybrid RA model. But what we're also going to do for anyone that joined the first time round, we're going to extend the invite for them to join as well. Without having to pay for it again. So anyone that joined us first time round, you are welcome to join us as well for this live. We're going to do it. And again, this isn't going to be, us. We're not like marketers as such. So it's not going to be cart closing, this type of thing. It's like, we wanted to mention it now. It's not the hard sell. If anyone wants to join, we'll put the link it's £79 for a one-off session. But like I said, if you joined us first time, if you bought it first time, you can join us again. And it's like I said, it's a one-off class. It's 2 hours long. We do Q&A in it as well. Matt will run through sorry, Andre. Matt will run through his RA session, and even there are even things that have changed since the last session, haven't there? That you've discovered since you've been.
There's a few things, and we basically took the feedback from the last session. There was things that people said that they would like to see more of, and there was, so there's going to be a bit of extra information in there. Not going to be completely different, but there's, like I say, people from the feedback, people said, "Oh, we'd like to see more of this and more of that." So there's going to be a bit more information in there. I think a lot of people were interested in sort of the thing about one of the things because I do it so naturally and do it so regularly. I think there's a lot of things that I just do and I don't think about, if that makes sense. Because one of the things from the feedback we had was, oh, what time of year is really good to source certain things? Because I just do that so naturally, and I just kind of go from sale to sale. I didn't include a great deal of information about that. So there's a whole section will be about that, about what products to look for at certain times of the year, things like that. So there's going to be a bit more information. So anyone who attended the first one, it'd be well worth attending again for the extra bits of information that will be in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's one of those things that I specifically see going into Q4 that people are probably going to have to put a bit more graft in. There is, one thing that we didn't even, oh my goodness, we didn't even cut, there's an 8-day blooming dog strike down at Folkestone at the moment. We've got Royal Mail strikes. We are firmly back in the Stranger Things 80s at the moment with everything that's going on. Inflation, high interest rates. God, I've just literally seen a comment come through on my phone when I was watching the comments about it, like, oh, interest rates are going to go after 7% and things like that. Well, that sounds like fun. Not. But we are firmly back in that time now. So I think, and I was listening to someone the other day, and this is so true. I think anybody, it was actually Matt Webley I was listening to, and I think anybody who over the next 2 years, I think he's so right on this, manages to stay like that in business, that's going to be success. That's going to be success over the next couple of years, which means you're going to have to work harder maybe to get the same results. It's as simple as that. And if you're not prepared to do that, you need to exit kind of gracefully now, essentially. And why we love this class so much from Matt's point of view is the fact that it's something a bit different. It's that slightly higher barrier to entry. Not everyone's prepared to go and walk down around the shops looking for opportunities. But really think about that, guys. When that low-hanging fruit, when you go up a level, when you go up to the slightly riper fruit, it absolutely is something that's a little bit harder to get to. And that's what these times are for at the moment. And you feel comfortable doing it, again, for the reasons you said as well. Everyone's in different geographical locations.
Yeah.
Even though Andre says South Wales is like the EU, so that must be must be his area. So what I would say is, if you're looking for something a bit different, and you don't have to adopt this, you don't have to, it can be just 10% that you adopt into your business, just for that 10% that might disappear because of everything that's happening in the world. And I don't want to oversell it and say, oh, you do this and it will save your business, or it'll change your life, or do this whatsoever. It's about weaving these techniques, and that's what these masterclasses are going to be for. And we're going to continue to run them in different subjects, but we wanted to do the RA one again because I think the time of year with Q4 and everything like that.
It's a good time of year, and there's still a lot of deals. I mean, August is a particularly good month for RA in general.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people who do it will agree. September is still a good month. There's lots of deals out there at the moment. And a lot of things that you can, which I teach about, speculate to accumulate. It's a great time of year now to buy products at the low point of the time that you can then keep until Q4, because Q4 is only sort of 2 months away. Now, that strategy works in January, but the problem with January is you've then got to hold it until the end of the year. It's a fantastic point of the year. If you look at historical prices are at the lowest points in August at any point in the year. Generally speaking, most products are at the lowest price point of the year. So you can then, really capitalize on that. And I think this year is going to be particularly important because there's a lot of supply issues. And what I found is that retailers are shipping stock to certain stores because they've got shortage of wagon drivers. Therefore, what you'll find is with retail arbitrage, there's little pockets of stock where you can clean up, and you can go into one shop and pick up 50 units, and there's none for miles and miles around. And you can really, really capitalize on that. You can take advantage of these issues. Take advantage of the supply issues, take advantage of the shortages, take advantage of the cost of living crisis. People can't afford the fuel to put in the cars, or they're selling the cars, or they're staying at home, or there's still COVID. I know it's gone, but it's still there. Again, it's all advantages that you can then, if you're prepared to go out and do the work, you can take advantage of this and profit very nicely from it. Like I say, it's only £79. So even if you just, like, say, if you incorporate it into your weekly shop, and if you go to Tesco's to do your weekly shop and then you do a bit of RA, you'll make your money back in 1 or 2 hits. So it's really, really beneficial for most people's businesses.
Definitely. We're not telling people to give up what you're doing. This is in addition to, or what you could potentially be, where there might not be opportunities anymore. It could be weaved in, absolutely. That's why it's not. It's one of those things that you couldn't create like a full course on it or anything like that, but there is something that you can definitely have some experience techniques from someone that's been doing it for a really long time. So if you already bought it a couple of months ago, then you can join us again for free. Have we figured out how we're going to do that yet? I suppose you could send a link.
Yeah, so everybody who signed up originally, I'll send you the link to the call. It's going to be via Zoom again. But just be aware, the email you use to sign up with, whether you use PayPal or whatever email you put in, that'll be where the invite will go to.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely think that that's good. So Andre said we were doing 4 or 5 trips a month before joining first time. So that's brilliant. Good to hear that. So yes, so Matthew's put the link in. We'll put the link again. So anyone that joined us first time, you can join us again. But obviously, if you missed out last time because it was so popular, we had to shut the cart. And it generally, oh my God, it wasn't even it wasn't like a marketing thing, because Matt and I was like, right, we're not going to the cart's closing, get in kind of thing.
Yeah, the thing is we did it on Zoom, and there's a person limit on Zoom, and that was the problem. We couldn't have it where people, if we oversold it, then people couldn't get into the call. So that's why we had a genuine limit. We weren't just like, a lot of people go, oh, they're selling out. No, it was genuinely the restriction.
It was a genuine limit.
Genuine people in the call. So we couldn't have more people than we were allowed in.
And the other thing as well, and this is genuine, again, this isn't to line Minor Matt's pockets as well. This is actually any money that this group makes moving forward is going forward to a much bigger project. I don't know if I can say that, or I should say that, which is going to be something that is going to benefit every single person in the Amazon space that wants to be part of it. So whilst it's not going to be free, I don't want to give that impression that it's like a group buy type thing. But any sort of masterclasses or anything that we create moving forward are going forward to funding a very specific project, which I'm so excited about. It's unbelievable, and I'm really looking forward to being part of that. I think it's something that's gonna change the way people run these type of businesses, because that's what we've experienced so much over the last couple of years. It's gone from side hustle for a lot of people into proper businesses, and there's things that are only in place when you hit like 7 figures within your business, and then they're incredibly expensive. So we've been working as a team, and when the new person comes on board, which we'll be announcing next week, then it's all part of the greater good, the bigger plan, essentially. So in a way that you'll be supporting the Amazon communities by doing that. So we'll have a couple of things like this during Q4 that we're super excited about, that we want everybody's involvement on as well. But that's very kind of you to say. Andre said, now we do it even more, referring to the RA. It was worth its value in gold. So join. Really appreciate that, Andre. Thank you very much for that. Confirmation of how much you enjoyed it. So please join. £79, 2 off. And we're going to do it, by the way, we haven't even said it's going to be the 7th of September. So we're not going to do it until
everyone's kind of back and
everyone's
back.
From the holidays, that type of thing. So it's not a cart closing type thing. Join on. If you want to do it, great. If you don't, then don't. It's as simple as that. It's one of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things.
It's not for everybody. At the end of the day, you have to put the work into retail arbitrage. You have to go when there's deals. You can't just go. I mean, you may have success by just randomly going, but it's very 50-50. The strategies I teach is very much about finding deals and going when the deals are. And sometimes for me, I'm very keen on it. I've been out at 1 a.m. I go out on weekends. Sometimes you have to put a bit of work in to make it work. You can't just sit on the sofa and expect the deals to come to you. But with that said, I think I was chatting to somebody the other day. I said retail arbitrage makes up about 20 to 25% of my stock. So it's not massive, but it's about 50% of my profit, because the margins are incredible. And there's very little competition in what I source, because people can't get the goods. So because of the supply and demand. So I don't have competition, and it makes me a lot of profit. And I also enjoy doing it because I get to travel and I get to visit lots of different places. So there's that side of it as well. There's the serious side, there's the making money, but then there's also for people who want to travel. It's a great way to be able to travel the UK, even Ireland, perhaps, if you wanted to go there and make a bit of money, even if you just want to cover your expenses to travel, or if you want to make a bit on top as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. There's so many different there's so many different techniques that you can use with it. If you want to use it to fund a bit of traveling, if you like we said, I think Tracy's asked, thanks. That's the link, Tracy. That's you can use to join there. But yeah,
posting on YouTube. I think that's why.
Yeah, post it on there as well if you wouldn't mind, so anyone can join. We'll do a post in the group anyway as well. So just for anyone that wants to join, letting people know who previously paid for the masterclass, and it was on an early bird, so they got it cheaper. So when we do early birds in the future, guys, make sure you take them up. But it's not a big increase, this time around, definitely. But we'd love to have everyone involved. It was such a fun masterclass last time, wasn't it? It was loads of people on. It was so interactive. It was really collaborative. It was fun. There was, it wasn't like serious or anything. Well, it was serious, in that, but it was definitely a good way to spend a good couple of hours in some good company. So we'd love to have you on board if you want to. Oh,
yes, I was putting the video on to put the comment on, because for some reason for StreamYard it only goes on YouTube. So hopefully that's they've got the link there.
But that's enough. That's enough selling. If you want in, great. If you want in, great. We'd love to see you. I mean, lots of people have already said that they joined first time round, how great it was. So it would be great if you want to join us. Please do. You'll be more than welcome. So just a couple of things then to catch up on. So if you do want to join the RA Masterclass for the second time, then that will be on Wednesday, the 7th of September. deliberately done it then just to wait until everyone's back. People get a much renewed sense of enthusiasm once the kids go back. I'm summered out, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm literally.
I think it's been a good one.
Oh, it has.
I think a lot of people have had a good one this year. I think everybody's kind of embraced summer this year. I have. I've had like 3 years worth of activities to do in like 2 months, and the weather's been cracking as well. So
yeah, it's been good. It's been great. But I think I want to enjoy the last part of the summer with the kids. I'm going to be taking a bit of time off next week. We're going to be here for Nevermind the Buy Box. And I want to enjoy the last part of the summer with the kids. I've worked a lot more this summer than I anticipated. It's always my goal to take off the summer with the kids as possible, and I really didn't achieve it this year. So I need to do an after action review as to why that didn't happen, because my kids come first. That's my main, why I do everything is for the children, and I've not been able to spend as much time with them as possible. So I need to look at that and why that happened, because it's a big goal for me afterwards. So I'm going to spend the last week with the kids. So I think most people are like that. I know loads of people going on holiday next week. Like literally half my friends and family are going to Turkey next week. So I think a lot of people are going to try and squeeze out the last part of summer as much as possible. It's bank holiday, so let's hit it hard, guys, when we go back. I think that's the best way to do it. Peter says, will there be fewer spaces on the Zoom meeting this time round due to people being purchased? No, we're not going to be as tight this time, Peter, and we're actually going to buy the upgrade for a Zoom. So there's
that was the problem. Yeah, because we didn't know what the demand was be, so we weren't prepared to go and spend. I think it's £500 for the upgrade to have a large meeting. And we're like, well, we're not going to spend that if no one wants to join the masterclass. So now people want to join the masterclasses. We are going to go and buy the large people upgrade. So there's going to be plenty of spaces this time.
Absolutely. And like I said, it was genuine last time. We just didn't know. And it came down to spaces and bums on seat, and it just totally exceeded our expectation. And then you don't realize that someone might give their link to like their husband as well. And we just freaked out and thought, oh my God, so we could, hopefully that won't be a problem. But if it does go past, it won't go past 300. There's no way in a million years it will go past 300. But hopefully we won't be in that position again. So, it'd be great to have you, Peter. Definitely. I know you missed out last time. We felt super bad because I remember us saying, oh, never mind the Bible, was going, we're not going to do the closing cart type of thing. And we ended up having to do it. So, lesson learned. For sure, anyone that wants to join, we'd love to have you there. But we'll post it in the group and we'll talk about it. We've given quite a long lead time. It's 2 weeks.
It's plenty of time.
Of time, to get involved. So don't worry about it. But it might sound out. No. I'm only joking. So next week's going to be the date for everybody to put in the diary. That's going to be a big one. Next Tuesday, we're introducing the new member of Ecom Inner Circle. Actually, I don't even know what I'm more excited about. That or the high fat sugar and salt.
It's going to be a mega one, isn't it?
Yeah.
A mega value one. Yeah, so naturally, all seriousness, I would clear your calendar. If you sell grocery items, it's going to be a big one. And so there's genuine. There's no upsells. There's no software. It's just genuine.
I will see, and I'm not promising on this, guys. But I will see. We'll do the lunchtime as normal. I will do the lunchtime as normal at 1:00. But if there's a big need, I might do it again at 7:00 on Tuesday. If there's a lot of people that couldn't join for whatever reason, I may just do the replay. I don't know. I'll see at the time.
Maybe do like a quick Q&A or something.
Maybe a Q&A.
Questions. Maybe just jump on for like an hour and do a few questions if people have questions on it.
Something like that. We'll see next week because, like I said, it's one of those things that I just know it's like, if we knew declaration of conformity was, and this is different because declaration of conformity is an Amazon policy. It's not law. So it's sporadic. This is something so think of that. Think of declaration of conformity and the impact that has on your business, but across most of the grocery range, because it's not just chocks. Could be a packet of Bisto is too high in salt. That's what it could be, that could impact 80% of Amazon listings. So we don't know how they're going to react to it. So it's, if you sell at any type of capacity of grocery within your business, you need to be here 1 o'clock next week, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock next week, 2 o'clock. I was going to say 1 to 2 o'clock next Tuesday. So we can go through and show you everything that you need to do to just protect yourself. Hayden says, maybe it's just me. Maybe it is. Who knows? It's not. It's not hard to guess who it is. Or maybe it's just me. Well, it is what it is. Chris says, so just after the autumn fair. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to be doing. Are you going to autumn fair this year?
Don't know.
Oh, okay.
my calendar is very planned the week in advance, so I'll see. I'm not gonna make any phone come in. When is it? First week of September.
First week of September. It's like, isn't it like down the road from you?
It's loosely down the road. If you cost like an hour and a half to 2 hours, it's down the road. It's dry.
It takes me 2 hours to get there, so it's down the road for me too. But it's like you have to go north of north.
North of what? You do have to go north of Watford to go to Birmingham.
No, I love going to Birmingham. It's one of my favorite places to go. The friendliest people. We always, we used to exhibit at the spring and autumn fair every year. We had the best crack with people. I love the people of Birmingham. They're so friendly. Can't do enough for you. So we always had a great time. And I would have gone this year, but I'm not going to because my son's starting secondary school. So I can't get away this year. We're definitely going to do a Christmas meetup. We're going to do an ecom Christmas meetup. And I know for anyone that joined us earlier in the year, the one that we did in London, we had such a great time. So we want to extend that at Christmas for people that are kind of solo entrepreneurs that don't have that Christmas party. We haven't had the opportunity to get together for a few years now. So it was such a fun, sort of time. We really enjoyed it so much. And there was Jaeger bombs at the end, and it just all went wrong, to be perfect. It got a bit messy at the end. But I remember being in the spa with Hayden at like midnight buying sandwiches. So yeah, it was one of those nights, but it was a great night. It was such a fun, great night to get to know everyone. Chris says, yeah, it's slap bang at the start of school. Yeah, it is. It's a right pain in the ass. I remember the first time the last year we exhibited, or the last year before we exhibited, we couldn't go because my son was starting school, and I'm just not going to miss those type of occasions in my children's lives. And yeah, now my son's starting secondary school, so I need to be around for that. So not this year, unfortunately, but definitely in spring. I think I will do the spring one. I would have thought.
Yeah. I don't know. They're both about the same. They're both about as good as each other, aren't they? There's nothing particularly.
I prefer autumn fair. Yeah, I prefer autumn. Definitely. Yeah. For me, I prefer it. It's smaller, it's more intimate. You've got it's closer to Christmas. It's got a better vibe, it's got a better feel for me, autumn fair. But that's just me personally. But I've always preferred autumn to spring for sure. I think it's the Christmas thing. It must be.
Yeah, but they have more Christmas decorations in
the
spring fair. That's the irony of the situation.
I know, but everyone's talking about Christmas. They're excited about Christmas. So, that's why I like it. Maybe not this year. Who knows? Andre says, we're doing it in the car now. We plan on a long wheelbase before Christmas. So, yeah, South Wales and EU, don't come. You have to put up a border around there telling people not to come. I don't know. If you go to South Wales, you'll have to meet up with Andre, Matt, for sure.
Yeah.
And have a territorial challenge. Chris says, I'm dropping the kids at school, run up there a couple of meetings, but run back for pickup. Yeah. Where are you then, Chris? You must be closer. For me, it's like, if I do something like that, it's like a 4-day trip. I can't pop anywhere. I'm incapable of popping anywhere at all.
On the Christmas meetup, have we got any locations? Is there any kind of locations that work particularly well for people?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth's good if you live in Bournemouth, but if you live north of Bournemouth, it's quite far.
Everywhere's north of Bournemouth.
Exactly.
The only place that is more southerly is like Isle of Wight, and that's it. Oh, and the Channel Islands.
Cornwall's much further south.
Well, yeah, but to the left kind of thing. So
we don't talk about them.
No, definitely not. So probably, I don't know. Birmingham is a good area, actually. It is a good area.
Yeah.
For sure. So, but we will think about it. We'll put it out at the time. We'll say, yeah, I don't think London, because London, Chris just said London's the easy place, but it's the prices for everyone. It's just,
that's the problem. It's so expensive.
I mean, I think hotel for like $300.
I think it was bad because of the show. But yeah, I paid like £400 for my hotel room in a Novotel. It's like, what?
Yeah.
A 5-star hotel for that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll look at it a bit nearer the time, but somewhere it will be accessible for everywhere. But I am going to do
Manchester. Manchester's a great night out, and it's cheap.
It is not cheap.
Cheaper than Bournemouth.
5 hours from me, Manchester. But I will come wherever. We will come wherever for sure. Tessa said Leeds. Good point. £6 a pint. £6 a pint. That's cheap.
Yes, Manchester prices as well. Yeah. But it's north of the wall.
North of the wall, exactly. Right. Okay. So
we might put a poll and just see what works best for most people.
I never put polls up anymore because polls always end 50-50, and 50% is disappointed. Somewhere near an airport. Yeah, absolutely. Somewhere either near an airport.
Manchester's got an airport.
I know. I went to
a big one as well.
Yeah, I know. I flew to Manchester for an OA conference a couple of years ago. It's super easy. We just went from Southampton. So Southampton could be another option. Airport.
Yeah, Southampton's
good train.
Southampton's pretty central.
It's an hour from London. It's a very good train and plane networks. So
if it gets too wild, we could get a cruise ship and then do like a ecom cruise somewhere into the Med.
Absolutely. I doubt there's a few wrong ones down Southampton for sure. So you get them everywhere.
Luton has an airport, but doesn't mean it's a good night out.
No. Do you know what? I saw it once actually. I think it was Matt. One of Matt's goals, which unfortunately my husband Matt, that he never fulfilled, was he really wanted to see Bob Proctor live. He's a big hero of his, and inspired him a lot over the years. And he really wanted to see him live. And before COVID, for his 40th, Bob Proctor did his live shows, and it was in LA. And I was going to get it for Matt for his 40th as a surprise, but I thought, God, I have to ask him because it was really funny. Normally, I like surprising people. But it was really funny because they were holding it at LA Airport Hotel. And I was a bit like, oh, okay, so you're just flying and it's a lot of money and you'll stay there. And, if you do something like that, you want to combine it with something, like ClickFunnels is in Orlando. If you're going to that, you might as well spend a few days at Disney kind of thing. But it was like in the airport at LA. And so I eventually said to Matt, look, do you want to do it? And he was a bit like, well, if I'm going to go to California, if I'm going to go LA, I want to stay more in just the hotel. I want to take a bit of advantage of it. So he didn't end up doing it. And then COVID hit and then he died. So unfortunately, he never got the opportunity to do it. But I did give him the shot. He said no, just putting that out there. But sorry, my whole point was that was held at an airport. And I just thought that was one of the reasons why you didn't do it. It's quite uninspiring to do it at an airport hotel. I think that's the way I see it. Right, everyone's at Disney. Let's do it at Disney. That's where we need to do it for sure. Right. So yeah, important dates. So one more time, Matt, if you don't mind, just for anyone that wants to join the RA Masterclass. But next Tuesday is a really important date for everyone. So put it in your diary. If you have anybody that you've put Manny, Hanson's put that. Sorry, I don't know what that means. Curry Mile. There we go. Join us for the RA Masterclass. We'd love to have you there. So yeah, please give us a shout out if there's anyone that you feel could be impacted by the high fat, sugar and salts regulations that are coming in on the 1st of October. Please make sure you add them to this group for next week so nobody misses out, because The final point I will make, like Andre said, if this is going to be like declaration of conformity, the more people that know about it, the more team effort that we can put in with the amount of people that can impact on those listings saying live is just going to be for the greater good. It's going to benefit everyone. So hopefully it will be something that people can work together like a team mentality.
I think there's certain things, obviously we're all in business and we're all kind of competing, but equally we should all be helping each other to do well. I just don't see why we can't all do well, and this is a good example of that, where you're doing something, a law comes in, we should be helping each other to be successful.
Yeah, unless they're one of the IP issuing idiots, then don't invite them. They're not welcome.
No, they're not allowed.
Yeah, they're not welcome. Right, let's call it a day. So have a great week, guys. Stay prosperous, stay safe, and we will catch up next week. But any questions, just post them in the group, and have a great week, everyone.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.